the OnlyLeedsBros show.
Well, hello everybody, welcome back to Only Leeds Bros. It feels like an absolute age since we done a live Dillo, but we are back for the match build-up. Massive game tomorrow night against Sheffield United at Bramell Lane. Before we get into it, let's pass across to the bro. Dillo, how are you keeping?
All good, lads. All good. Still a bit shaken up if anyone hasn't seen our latest video on Friday. Self, Darren and Darren's wife Amy travelled into the Talbot Hotel in Stillorgan. A Q&A with Stuart Dallas and Ian Hart, two brilliant ex-Leeds United servants for the Mighty Whites. And then Only Leeds Bros moving up in the world gets to do an interview with the one and only Ian Hart. So lads, I'm starstruck still. I'm still a bit shaken. And then over my right shoulder, you can see the 1998 jersey right there. That is signed by Stuart Dallas, Ian Hart, and Andy Cousins. So I am absolutely on cloud nine. Apart from that, which is also, it's a good cause, lads. It's for some guy that is really sick at the minute. It was a bit of a lump in the throat moment, wasn't it, Darren?
Yeah.
To be fair. And I bought tickets for the raffle, and Jer Lynch from the View was sitting beside me, and thanks to Jer, lads, I would have noticed that I won. So myself and Darren are going to the Leeds United Legends game on the 10th of May. So, you know, lads, definitely get on to that. If you want to go see that, it's going to be a really good one. So yeah, to be honest with you, I'm talking a bit too much. I'm on cloud nine.
Just still starstruck.
On cloud nine, can't get over it. Had a great time, met lovely people that have been watching us. You know, at times there I was going to say, Stuart Dallas is right there. And there's people coming up to me asking me, love your stuff. Dillo, what was the story with you choking, you know? It seems to be the talk of the town. So, yeah. Look, I'm buzzing it, but look lads, thanks to everyone as well that did come up. And everyone that's still in the chat, like me and Darren are on this journey. And it's just going up, and loving it. Absolutely loving it. Don't want to get emotional.
Class.
Loving it. Keep it going.
Yeah, it was unreal. Like, just to echo what Dylan said before we obviously get into it, class day. I say, if you haven't, lads, go back and watch our previous video with Ian Hart. I think it's up to about 4,000 views at the minute. We've gained an enormous amount of subscribers today, so it's really got a lot of traction towards the channel, and that's what we want to do going forward. We do have something in the pipeline again with an ex-player. It isn't quite over the line yet, but a very good one, so we're just waiting for it to get signed, sealed and delivered before we get it to you guys. But that is something that we want to start doing on Only Leeds Bros. That's the type of channel that we want it to be, to try and get ex-players in and interview them as well. So unbelievable. So make sure, if you're not, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because we do have a lot of that coming up over the next couple of weeks. We're going to be pushing hard to try and push that sort of content out on the channel as well, just to be a little
Can't
bit
give it
different,
all
you know
away,
what I mean?
but hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Could possibly see. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. It's a little teaser. We'll go with that. That's the way we roll.
Yeah, unbelievable. I just want a little story before we do get into it. I want to tell you about how I met Stuart Dallas, and Dylan's going to laugh at me, and you're all probably going to laugh at me this, but I just have to share it.
Very good.
So we obviously did our interview with Ian Hart, and as you would be, you know, the palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There was vomiting though. I was sweating. Absolutely
Spaghetti,
sweating.
he's nervous. He looks calm and ready. I was just going to keep that going there. Sorry, what a chill.
So
Sorry.
Ian Hart walked in, and shook his hand, bit starstruck, because obviously being Irish, he was to play left back, left footer as well. Bit starstruck, did the interview, was what you could see with myself and Dylan. Definitely no way professionals, but we gave it our best shot. And after it then, I was just completely starstruck. So I said it to Dylan and Amy. They were going to the bar to get a drink, and I said, look, lads, I need to go to the bathroom.
Typical.
Throw a bit of water on my face. Calm myself down a bit and regroup before the Q&A with Dallas and Hart then commenced. So there in the bathroom, by myself, washing the hands down in the drawer. Went to open the door, and Stuart Dallas is standing right there in front of me, about to push the door open, and I was like, Stuart! And he just looked at me like, hey. I was like, yeah, how's it going, mate? And he was just like, I'm pushing for a piss. I was like, yeah, sorry, Stuart, yeah, go ahead. And I was going to just stand there looking at him going into the bathroom. I say, he was just like, what is going on? But yeah, the most bizarrest place to me, Stuart Dallas was just, absolutely crazy. But yeah, what an event. So anyway, go back and watch that video with Ian Hart, daily vlog. Love doing it and hope we can do more of them. Let's get into a couple of the comments, Dylan, because they are flying in. Danny's back in the building. Big up, Danny. Haven't talked to you in a while. Hope you're keeping well. I know you weren't feeling too well not so long ago, so I hope you're feeling a lot better, buddy. Do smash a like and hit subscribe, lads. We're very much on the road to that 2K. Amy Clark says, looking forward to this one. Get those likes and subscribes if you haven't already. Please do that. Mighty White's LUFC says, the Bros, best upcoming channel on YouTube by a country mile. That's so humbling.
That's a serious statement to throw out there. I'll take it though. I will take it.
I'll take it. Thanks very much, Mighty Whites, and thanks very much for being a member of the show and supporting us all the way. Sean Healy, hope you're keeping well, pal. Looking forward to hanging about with you on the 10th of May for that charity game, buddy. And Darren Daly. Darren Daly is in the building. Hi, lads. That time again. Boom. I love it. We're actually going to have one after this as well. Darren, I was speaking to your young lad, Darren, actually, as well, on TikTok. Really, really nice guy. So big up to your son and thanks for him for reaching out. Love Dylan being starstruck in that video. You were, Dylan. You were a little bit.
Darren goes, look, I was setting up the chairs and all for Ian Hart, and he says, where do you want to sit? He says, I'll send you outside. Don't put me beside him. Please don't put me beside him. I was rattling, I'm not going to lie, throughout the whole thing.
We both were.
And like off camera as well, he's such a gent. A legend, pure legend, like, and a bit of crack as well. Look, anyway, look. Go watch it.
Great vlog. Thought Dylan was going to cry after Hardy, but I would have too. Yeah, we were close. We were both close. So my lads, Amy Clark says, can't wait for the 10th of May. Yeah, we do have a bit more of that coming up, lads, when we do have the full details of that one. Ian says, Super Leeds United. Absolutely, Super Leeds indeed. We'll get into that. We'll go with that. Jodie Cullen says, new background, congrats on the feature in the Leeds News article. Yeah, thanks very much. And you did see our interview with Ian Hart is out there on Leeds United News as well. So great to get into an article as well. Yes, Jodie, news article and all that, smashing it, lads. Anyone else you haven't said hello to as yeah. And yeah, promotion push up, lads. Exactly 10th of May. That's exactly what's going to be happening there. Anyway, back to the big one. Dylan, tomorrow night, Sheffield United, first versus second Yorkshire Derby, away, Bramell Lane. Daniel Farke isn't going to be on the touchline tomorrow. We'll get into that a little bit more as we go through the video. But let us know what he said in his press conference.
Firstly, I just want to say, do. While there is a we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave that till tomorrow for the watch along. We'll leave that tomorrow for the watch along. Hopefully there's plenty of that tomorrow.
Quick, short, sharp, straight in, no messing about. Daniel Farke's presser, lads, a bit, to be honest, I was a bit let down with it, considering it is a big game, probably the biggest game of the season tomorrow. I think we can all agree with that. Straight off the bat, didn't really take any, went on about his, the touchline ban, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, look, at the end of the day, I think it's a bit harsh. I think we can all agree.
It's very
to a certain degree, he should be allowed to celebrate a goal. If anything, that's shown his human side and passionate for football and Leeds in general, So, yeah, look, I'm not really going to get into it because I actually genuinely think just everyone on this planet is out to get Leeds United. But yeah, straight off the bat, lads, no difference as usual. Patrick Bamford and Max Wallber are still out. I think I'm going to be saying that. I'm sick and tired of saying it until the end of the season, until the two of them put in a transfer request. Look, Wallber will probably start wanting to play, and Patrick might be easing up on the old
trampoline belt
podcast, but that and the podcast as well, So yeah, but then lads, one that is a bit of a upsetting one. It's a question on Solomon, lads. It's not good, really not good. Today would have been the day. If he trained today, more than likely he will be travelling tomorrow. If he didn't train today, it's not looking good. So I don't know if anyone, we won't know.
The club did release the training video, and it kind of seems like them training videos, you don't really know what day it is. Is it from today? Probably not, because it's a lot of kind of editing to get out today. So I'd imagine it's from during the week. He did say he is a doubt. So if he is a doubt, I'd imagine then if he does make the squad, it is probably going to be the bench. I can't imagine him starting if he is going to be a doubt. But we've heard this before. Remember, I think Strike was injured a while ago before he actually got his big injury. Strike was a doubt and he ended up playing him, so who knows. But he did say it was down to that tackle Troy Yeom did on Solomon, which was a horrendous tackle. You seen his leg gone, and at the time, Dylan, we were wondering, is he going to go off here, because it looked like it was a nasty one, wasn't it? And this is probably mad to say, but I'm just thankful it's not, his own kind of injury like a hamstring or a calf. I'm happy it's an impact injury that was from a tackle and not his own body kind
bruise.
of breaking
It's a
down.
bruise, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's because one of them, they can be very cynical, you know, when you're running, there's no one around you, you know, in the knee jars or the ankle and hamstring and stuff like that.
Well, he's been
They're the
getting it
ones
there.
you worry about.
To be fair to
Yeah,
Solomon,
yeah.
he's been getting like an awful lot, like just ruthless kind of hard hitting tackles. You know, I'm not going to say dangerous tackles, but definitely, you know, trying to prove a point and you know, put him out of the game to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I genuinely think, please God, that he's alright and hopefully he'll be able to start tomorrow. Because no disrespect to Ramazani, like if Ramazani starts, you know, if Solomon's fit and Ramazani started, obviously you'd be kind of like, oh, it's a shake up. But considering that he is injured and, you know, no offence, as I said, to Ramazani or disrespect that, he'd probably have to throw him in and it's second choice, you know, that kind of
But
way.
Dylan, this is what we thought. We'll obviously get into the team like a little bit more. But this is what we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks, Dylan, about Ramazani and Nanto, that this is their opportunity. They got it against Millwall in the Cup. They didn't really make a great impact. So now this is an opportunity. Look, let's hope Solomon is okay. But if not, Ramazani has to come in and he has to pull up his socks. I just want to pull up this comment from Michael Uzel. He says, lads, I'm fuming, couldn't make it on Friday. Would have been nice to meet you in person. I really appreciate what you do. Love that, Michael. Thanks very much. For us Leeds fanatics, I'll meet you in Bray for a point 100%. We're definitely going to that game.
Love that.
We
I love it. Go on, lads. I love it.
And Sean says, shock horror, Bamford is still injured. Of course he is. Dr. Cox in the building. Hope you're keeping well. Paddy says, evening ladies. Good evening to you, buddy. Happy Sunday to you. And Sean says, I'm not mad, worried. Ramazani is more than equipped to replace him for a bit, and I think so as well. He definitely has the quality in there. He just has to show it. Didn't see him in the training video. Yeah, exactly, Danny. He wasn't in the training video, buddy. So
I only watched it about an hour ago.
Yeah, so he wasn't in the training video. Next up, lads, let's take a dive into Sheffield United then a little bit. So obviously, decent side with a bit to dive into. First of all, let's go head to head, both sides. Let's get that banner out of the way. I always do that. This obviously goes back just in the championship, so it dates back until the March 19, 2011, where they bet us 2-0 at Bramell Lane. Then they bet us 2-1 at Ellen Road in 2017. They bet us again then in February the 10th at Bramell Lane. We bet them at Bramell Lane. I think that one then, it was the Pablo Hernandez one, wasn't it? The score against them. Very tight game, Dylan. When you look through, a not high scoring game there between us. Only the odd goal in it here or there, so it's never really a high scoring game. And obviously we do have the bragging rights from the 2-0 win at Ellen Road earlier in the season in October. Great game that we were at. Leeds United really showed up that day, so let's hope we can do that again. And you see that man there, that picture there on your left hand side, depending on what way you're looking at it, that is none other but the Andy Gray. So that is Archie Gray's outfit playing, or dad or father for Andy, the English isn't, but that is outlet. That is his outlet. So let's take a look into the last five then for both sides. So obviously Leeds United on a great run. If you take that Millwall one out of it in the FA Cup, we're not going to count that whatsoever. Flying form. The goals we've been scoring as well. I think that's 15 goals in 6 games we've scored, only conceded 1. Absolutely unbelievable run that we're on. But then you look to Sheffield United, we were all obviously buzzing when they lost that 3-0 game to Hull City. We thought that it was obviously probably a turn of their season, a bit of downturn, but they've picked it up since then and they've won 4 on the spin. Let's be honest with you, a couple of them games we were very lucky against Derby. They got out of jail there, got out of jail against Portsmouth. I have to say they were decent against Middlesbrough at home at Bramall Lane, and then the offside goal, Dylan, against Luton Town, which they got away with one big time for that one.
They always get away when they're in, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they seem.
All things considered, we have to kind of give them some sort of respect. One thing that I am on a bit is how Jayden Bogle carries the pressure and the workload going into this game. Phenomenal against them at home at Ellen Road, but will he keep that momentum going? He's been unstoppable the last few games. Man of the match for me every game. Mr. Consistent, as you would say, is Sam Byram, and I'm loving him, and I just really want him to do well in this game. I like, take this with a pinch of salt. What I'm trying to say is, I really want him to go out there and have a 10 on 10 performance. And if the next game he's a bit lightly or jaded or just not ours, I'd say, lads, to be honest, he deserves it, considering he's been non-stop good performances, and then the shift that he did put in against Sheffield United if we win. But look, we'll get into that a bit further detail.
Yeah. Let's get into Ian's commentary. So if you get a chance to short his yours down to the player to make him undroppable. And that's it, Dylan, isn't it? Once you get an opportunity in this team, you need to grab it with both hands, 100%. So I definitely agree with that. Not that I'm concerned about the result. No matter what happens, we're still going up, and that's all that matters. And I think that's probably, Dylan, where we'll obviously let us know in the chat as well your kind of thoughts of it. See, look, kind of a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's a must-win game. It's a must-win game." I think, look, we all want to win the game. I think wanting to win the game and needing to win the game are two very different things. I don't think it's a must-win game. I think it's a must-not-lose game tomorrow night, because I think if we can even go there, get a point, it's as you were then, do you know what I mean? And then we've only won out the top 6 as it stands to play then in the run-in of the season. And look at, as what you say, Dylan, there's no guarantees. You can always slip up against anybody in this league. We know this division, it's notorious for tripping you up when it's unexpected. But it just feels like tomorrow, if they kind of beat us and they get one over us, they go top of the table, then that's when it really starts to turn then, isn't it? That's when we know then, right, it's between us and them. I think if we can kind of dispatch them, which I think we can, because we definitely have enough quality in the team to do it, I think that will probably more or less see us over the line then. I know it's still a long way to go in the division, but I think it'd be a massive result that we get for 3 points. But again, the point isn't the worst result for me.
I have to disagree, Darren, to be honest with you, pal. Look, don't be ringing mom now, we'll keep this. Just because I disagree with you,
No, something down the line for you. Stay tuned, because something down the line for you. Couple of our stats there I have for you.
I'll just leave.
Yeah.
I'm not. Look, I'm going to disagree. I genuinely think this is a must-win game. People in the chat are entitled to their opinion, as everyone is. The reason why I'm saying it is because I'm not really worried about Sheffield United. I'm worried about the games that are coming up. I know that sounds a bit strange. Blackburn last season. They're not a little club, but expected on paper should be beating them. We go out and we crumble. If we don't put points on the board for this game, I'm imagining, and I firmly believe, that we are going to slip up in one of the games. I don't mean we're still going to finish fourth, still going to win, still going to get promoted. I'm all for that, but probably determined on this game, because, as you said, it's going to start creating that gap. As well as that, it's only giving confidence to the players there and actually believe, lads, we are going to do this. We're doing so well. That's where I am with it, but I just need to keep applying that pressure. Go out tomorrow. None of this toe tapping at the back sort of scenario. Get the ball up and play our game. Quick tempo football. And let Pirro score about 40 goals.
Love it. Shane Kavanagh says no game is a must win unless it's the difference between promotion or not. And I agree with you, Shane. I really do. Look, I think tomorrow is a big game. Let's not get it wrong. I just don't think it's a must win game. I thought that Sunderland game was probably bigger than this, and I don't know if that sounded a little bit mad, because obviously this is the top 2 in the division. But I kind of felt like if Sunderland had a bet us at Ellen Road, that really would have been backs against the wall and trying to go into this game as well. I thought it was imperative that we got a result against Sunderland. And I said 4 points out of these next 2, Sunderland and Sheffield United wouldn't be a bad return. 6 would be absolutely unbelievable, lads. So look, we definitely have a lot. We definitely have the team there to do it. Obviously, the big question mark is tomorrow. Obviously, is Daniel Farke isn't going to be on the touchline. Is that going to hamper us a little bit? Is he going to be able to get his message across, right there and then by the time he rings down, or, trying to get his message down to the touchline? Is it going to be a little bit too late? So it'll be interesting to see tomorrow how Leeds deal with that, with Daniel Farke not being on the touchline, because I think he might be a miss. Darren Daly says, loved it. Europe Oilers. So I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Ian says, Dillo, we've only lost 3 games all season in the league. We have this, and that's exactly
Ian, I'll tell you what it is, pal. Sorry, no, Darren, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'll tell you what it is, Ian. I'm a Leeds fan. I am such a stress ball. If I see a player injured, or rumours or speculation of a good player or someone that I highly rate as a player leaving, I get all depressed. My missus will tell you. Like, money or anything like that doesn't bother me whatsoever. When I hear something bad news about Leeds or Leeds are losing, I'm pure depressed down my head for weeks. Like, weeks. I'm not messing you. That's the way I am. So it's more just, it's such a good run that we have in Fark, and just the games that are coming thick and fast. And look, you're going to get a lot of people. I'm not one of them anyway. If we lose tomorrow, it's going to be another meltdown. Put it out there. There is.
I suppose it depends on the game, Dylan. It depends on what way the game goes. I mean, I think probably, losses always, always sting, and then it depends. Like, if the game's 0-0 and they nick a last minute, like what we did to Sunderland, they always sting a little bit more, though, don't they? So it just depends on what way the game goes tomorrow. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's a massive, massive game. I want to comment here from DV4 LUFC. Solomon out, do you reckon? Fact, you'd say he's a do. Not too sure if he is going to be. It hasn't been in the training video, but doesn't really mean nothing. We seen Strike a couple of weeks ago who was a do, wasn't in the training video, and then started the game as well. So it'd be interesting to see, but I do think he's a massive loss. Do have a couple of graphs to pull up as well about Manor Solomon as well, so we'll definitely have a look into that. Ian Ward says, Dillo, you're making me nervous. Ian, that's what I've had to put up with. I've had to put up with that for 20
Look at me hair, Ian. Look at me hair. You know what I mean?
Believe it or not, lads, Dylan's actually a younger one. He's young. He stresses me out, lads. He just stresses all the time, but he passes it on to me. Anthony up back into midfield, hopefully. Yeah, I do want to get onto that as well, lads, because I do have a couple of graphs to show Dylan and kind of stick it up. There's the two Irish legends, not talking about Ian Hart and Stuart Dallas. Good evening, lads. Thanks very much, Jam.
Good man,
absolute pleasure. I was talking to Jam all last night and texting him and sending him on pictures and voice notes and that. Yeah, it was gas. We'd go there a laugh. Rumour on the rounds, Hamer is out. Did see that, but I also think it might be a little bit of a ploy from Chris Wilder as well, so it'll be interesting to see tomorrow. I'm more erring on the side that we might see Hamer in the squad, and that's the way I'm thinking, because if he is out, I'll be happy. So I'm more going to get myself into the thinking that he is going to be there, Ian. So we'll see how that goes. We're going to win tomorrow, Dillo. I've no doubt. I hope so.
Go on, Stephen, blow it. Get me that motivation.
Solomon was still in a protective boot on Friday. Let's hope he's all right, Danny. Let's hope it's not too bad. If Largy starts, he'll press more than Solomon. Exactly, he will. And look, lads, he has the quality. He definitely has the quality to come in and replace Solomon, hasn't he? 100%. He's a different type of winger than Solomon, but he's definitely another player. And look, when you look back to that game at Ellen Road, lads, it was not Dom Ramazani that started that game at Ellen Road. We won that game 2-0. So we always have this talk horses for courses. Yeah, it's away from home, but I still think we could do it. He's a player that was effective in that game. I wouldn't have Dillo is a day over 21.
Go on, Danny. I don't know.
Danny's looking for something. Mampadu goes into midfield. We'll destroy them in midfield, and I'm kind of the way of that thinking as well.
Don't
start. Let's pull up the league table before we move on as well, lads. So obviously, this is the current standings of the Championship table. See Leeds sitting pretty top of the Championship table. Nice, healthy goal difference there as well. My match is really, I think 24 goals. Better off, absolutely unbelievable. 2 points ahead of him, obviously. So tomorrow will be nice, Dylan. 5-point gap, pushes away from Burnley as well. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'll tell you one thing, lads. It's very close, even for the.
When you look at the playoffs, even the job. I know we obviously don't like Frank Lampard, but if you look at the job that he's after doing there, look at Coventry only a point of the playoff places, so very, very tight around there. Look, I don't even want to be looking back there. We just need to keep going and be doing our bit still on 100% and keep it full tilt ahead. Let's move on to Sheffield United then. Their goals and assists so far this season. So obviously they're on your far left hand side. Gus Hamer is their top goal scorer with 7 goals this season. Then you Jefferson Ragzaki. You keep him more there as well with 5 goals for them, who seems to be well talked about that he's very ineffective for them, but 5 goals is not bad return from him. And then you Harrison Burrows as well, really, really decent left back for them, can get forward, can score goals, very much like our left backs as well. And then you move over then to the assists then on the right hand side there. Callum O'Hare, 6 assists so far this season. You've Gus Hamer with 5 assists as well. So definitely a player we need to look out for, Gus Hamer, tomorrow if he is fit. So let's hope he isn't. And then you can see down there Tom Cannon then their new sign, there's 2 goals. I think he has got 9 goals in the Championship this season, but he hasn't got that much for that graph for
first chance
Sheffield United so far.
Hamer smashed straight up. First chance. Definitely.
I'd say Darren early 30s, very good, Danny. Yeah, 31 in July. I am 31 in July. If Hamer plays, got to kick in for first minute. So he keep on for company in the treatment table. Yeah, let's hope we put Hamer out of the game. Emma Fitzsimon says, we can say do the same thing with Solomon. Yeah, I'd agree with that one. Blackburn and West Brom won't get playoffs, both inconsistent. You never know though, and this league is mental, especially the running Dylan towards the end.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Anyone can kind of go on a run. Solomon travelling with the team. Is that? It definitely.
Don't get me hopes up, please.
That's 100%. I'd like that. Emmett's coming in with his predictions: Sheffield United 2, Leeds United 4. That would be one hell of a game. That one. 2-1 Leeds. I reckon that's if Ampadu is in midfield. Nice one. Let's move on then to Leeds G&A then. So you see your man there in the top left-hand corner, top of the tree, Joel Piroux. 14 goals so far this season for Leeds United. It's absolutely incredible. And you see him over the right-hand side, 6 assists as well. So absolutely flying this season for us, Joe Piroux. And I think, Dylan, what the most impressive thing about this one is for me is that he's only 1 goal from a penalty as well. So 13 goals from outfield play is absolutely phenomenal. You have that man, Dan James, as well. 10 goals, reached double figures as well. And 6 assists. He's absolutely flying this season. 16 goal contributions so far this season, which is crazy. But the big one here, Dylan, is obviously the man that is a doubt tomorrow, Manor Solomon. 7 goals for us this season and 7 assists, 14 goal contributions. So it's a lot to take out of this team, Dylan, isn't it, Manor Solomon? You know, if he is going to be a miss. And then obviously the last one there down on your left-hand side, Jayden Bogle has 4 goals for us this season. And let's hope that he can improve on that one tomorrow. Yeah, Dylan, so Manor Solomon, obviously, we've seen there 14 G&A altogether so far this season for Leeds United. We do have someone like Ramazani. Would you be a little bit meh if Solomon isn't out and Ramazani's coming in? Or do you think he's more than capable to take that mantle?
Yeah, no, I think he could take the mantle already. But I'm starting to think, you know, these young lads, no disrespect, you know, if they're second choice, they're kind of just like, well, yeah, whatever sort of scenario. But then at the end of the day, it's still a chance for them to come on. Just every time that they have been given a chance, they haven't really fully, you know, went into, say, second gear. But then at the same time, then, you know, Solomon and Dan James have been so good, lads. Yeah. Phenomenal, like, you know. So that maybe that could be something to do with it as well, Darren, just considering we're only noticing how well I am anyway, how well Solomon and James are playing. That you kind of just leave, you leave the two boys out. You know, you kind of don't really think about them. But no, it's definitely a show. I think he should grasp it while he can. And then, like, don't get me wrong, like, if he scores against Sheffield United, like, he's, you know, it's going to give him a bit of confidence, especially in Fark, you know, to the pressure, the workload that he's been given to come on and make an impact. And that's all you really want him to do. Just have a good performance and put on a show for the fans as well.
And Michael Brother says here, just look at the quality you have on the screen there with goals and assists. I'm even more confident for tomorrow. And that was the same, Michael, when I was making up that graph earlier on. He obviously did the Sheffield United one first. And I was looking at it and I was going through their squad and I was like, geez, they have some talented players. You know, you have Jefferson, Ragzaki there. You've obviously the Gus Henry, you have Tom Cannon as well, decent at this level. Great players across their team, let's not get us wrong. But then I moved on to the Leeds one and you're going through it and you're just, wow. It's absolutely
crazy.
Stacked. I think the main thing to stand out there from that graph is that everyone's chipping in, isn't it? We're not just reliant on that one individual player anymore.
Even defenders.
You keep alluding to as well. Like you obviously, you're very, you know, heavily reliant to what we said last season on Rutter, your Somervilles. It seems to be a lot more spread out. We do have Joe Piroux, 14 goals, Dan James on 10, Solomon on 7, you know, and like what you said, then you've got Bogle chipping in as well, 4, which is a great return as well.
But even now to Junior Firpo. Junior Firpo's there, top assists.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say, like, don't get me wrong, Solomon is level with him. You kind of expect that from Solomon, not taking that away from him because he's been nothing but phenomenal. But considering Junior, how sometimes poor he plays, but then, you know, he still has 7 assists under his belt. It's pure quality, lads. Quality.
I agree with what Marcus is saying here, Dylan, and I think that is because we haven't seen Largy playing for a while, and let's be honest, he hasn't been immense when he came on. What was the goal he scored against Sheffield United? One between the legs, blasted into the bottom corner. We've seen it, Dylan. He has got that quality, and what Marcus is alluding to here as well, how good he was before that injury, and it just seems to be if he can kind of get that run in the team, you know, and get a couple of minutes, he's more than capable of being at that level. But then you flip it the other side when we played Derby away at Christmas time. That was his first start in a long time when he first came back from injury. And you could see the last 20 minutes, he was absolutely jaded. So I'm kind of wondering what way his fitness is going to be because he hasn't played 90 minutes in a long time. I think Millwall in the Cup, he was probably his most minutes in the last while. Marcus Celtic doesn't mean it's going to be the same. Yeah, you never know in football. You just never know. Question, would you play Bogle tomorrow with him being one away from a card? I think you have to, Danny.
Yeah, you would.
I think you have to. No disrespect to Boyle. And you know, more so, Danny, I don't think it really matters what we probably think as fans. I think Daniel Farke plays him because we've seen there for a long time with Jayden Bogle and Joe Rodon were 1 card away from the suspension as well. I think remember up to 19 games and he played them, and Joe Rodon was brilliant. I think Joe Rodon went 9 games without getting a card then when he was very close to the limit. I just run blunt ragged at Ellen Road. I'd love that. If we win tomorrow, do you think that we're going to probably need 6 wins after that? I think we talked about this, Dylan, before the Sunderland game. We were saying 8. So that's one chalked off. So I probably think, just to be safe, I probably think 7. I think 7 more probably sees off line. Gives us a chance, well, not a chance, gives us that little bit of breathing room to have that kind of Leedsy in us, Dylan, if we do kind of have a little bit of a blip. But I think 7 should realistically get us up out of this division. Bogle will definitely get a card tomorrow. They'll wind them up big time, and I think he will. You see the card that he picked up against Joe Bellingham as well was a little bit needless, wasn't it? Dylan, moving into the graph that I've been absolutely dying to show you, and some of you might have seen it across our socials here. So obviously the big and talking point tomorrow is our midfield tomorrow. Pascal Struijk more than likely is going to go back into the centre of defence. So we did a bit of a poll on both our Twitter account and our YouTube post as well. So over there on your left hand side, you see who's starting midfield 2 tomorrow. Again, Blunt. So very similar sort of graphs, but the resounding one there, Dylan, is Ampadu and Tanaka. They're the one that everyone's gone for. Next, you're talking Rotwell and Tanaka as well, and then just after that then is Gruev and Tanaka. So there was 94 votes on that one, and then this one here then on Twitter then 268 votes on this one, and again Ampadu and Tanaka win that one. Just behind then is Rotwell and Tanaka, and then again Gruev and Tanaka. But the one, Dylan, that people don't want to see at all is the Ampadu and the Gruev one tomorrow. And again,
yeah, definitely.
This is the one that we've obviously spoke about. What do you do tomorrow?
Put me on the spot, didn't you? I thought you were going to ask me which one would I, like, just in general, but considering tomorrow. He's going to start Ampadu in midfield, isn't he? He's going to put Struijk.
I think so, Dylan. And this is where I want to have a little dig at you, because that's the resounding one. That's the resounding one that people want Ampadu back into that midfield. No,
yeah, like I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I just think, well, I want Gruev for away games, lads. Maybe, yeah, what Marcus says there, Ampadu and Tanaka.
I think that's the resounding one, Dylan. That is the one, isn't it? That's the one that everyone's gone for. Yeah, the Ampadu and Tanaka one. That's the one the resounding one that everyone seems to
for tomorrow now.
For tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, and then I would bring Gruev on though. You know, in change of game, only of course if we're winning or there's an injury or something like that. But just Gruev for away games, I don't know what it is. It's like he doesn't take any acknowledgement to the home fans of whatsoever. I don't know what it is with him.
Does his job. I think it's just the type of player he is. Dylan Gruev, isn't it? He does his job and mops up. But I think tomorrow we're going to need a little bit of quality as well tomorrow, and that's kind of where I'm coming from as well. That I don't think we should go there and be ultra defensive like the way we were against Bournemouth when we started with Rotwell and Tanaka, and I think that's probably what's put me off that partnership a little bit more. 110% not Ampadu and Gruev for me. That's well too defensive. We don't need that whatsoever tomorrow. And then after that, then I agree with what people are saying as well. I think
Gruev. So throw this one up. This one's an interesting one. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
From Emmett, Rotwell and
Tanaka for me. Well, look, there's definitely a case there, Emma, and this is obviously the reason why we're talking through and to get your guys' thoughts on it as well, because that was a starting pairing, Dylan, when we bet them at Ellen Road 2-0. So is there, a conversation there to be had that try and get close to that team as much as we possibly can, that bet them 2-0 at Ellen Road?
Where are you putting, because he's not going to drop Ampadu. I'm all for that, by the way. I have to agree. I really 100%.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he will. I do think Ampadu comes back in, but I'm just saying there's definitely a conversation for what Emma says for Rotwell and Tanaka to come back in there, because they've been brilliant at Ellen Road.
Well, every time like Rotwell does get the ball, lads, he's looking up and he's trying to drive with the ball, and I keep saying it's speed, but Darren, you hit the nail on the head. It's actually his tempo. His tempo is so good, Rotwell, and then. Well, I don't know. This is an awful. I'm delighted I'm not the manager, to be honest with you, because Rotwell is just phenomenal. He's just pure phenomenal. Tanaka is just like a different gravy altogether.
Well, I think let us know in the chat. Does Struijk come back in tomorrow? I think that's probably the first one. I think he has to. I think Struijk has to go out. I think for getting the 2 goals. And then obviously you look at Ampadu, how he gets turned for the goal at Isidore as well. So I think we definitely need Struijk back in there, because for me he's definitely one of our best defenders. So I do think we need Struijk back in tomorrow. And then the midfield, and then I think we all probably know. And again, you probably have to park what you're thinking and probably get into Daniel Farke's way of thinking. And it is going to be Ampadu tomorrow. So it's going to be more or less who's going to partner him in there. And I think probably Tanaka is the one to do it, because he kind of seems to like Tanaka a little bit more. But I kind of like the thought of that that midfield there with Amps and Tanaka, because both of them can break up the play. And then both of us can get us forward. We've seen Ampadu can spread them balls. He can tread passes. We know Tanaka can do it as well. So I think we've kind of got the best of both worlds there. But then I feel very harsh because I love Joe Rotwell to bits, and we can see the game changing that he's does. And then I'm trying to say, you know, then you bring him on then for that game changing again. You know, things aren't going well. Is he one of them that you bring on then for, you know, for the set pieces, for his delivery and his quality on the ball?
Yeah, but then that's what I'm saying. You're waiting for the 70th minute. No disrespect. I know, you know, lads, the late winner against Sunderland, it was phenomenal. You know, everyone, you go back and watch the video, I choked live. I was literally on death's door. But apart from that, like, we can't really, there's no plan B there. You know what I mean? And if it's 0-0 or it's 1-0 or 2-0, sort of stuff, we can't. It does work. I'm not saying it doesn't. But I would rather now solidly before the 70th minute mark, he's bringing on players to go for the win, and not the 70th minute. Just, I will see what happens. Look, if we get the draw, it's better than nothing. We have enough players on the squad to get us across the line in winning this match and winning the season. And I think that's
a great show here from Jonathan, and something that I didn't think about as well. I think their goalkeeper and the height means that it isn't ideal for Rotwell for set pieces at least till the 70th minute mark, and that's a good shout, Dylan, because, you know, they're tall, they're strong. Naturally, they've been good at set pieces, you know, and dealing with them coming into the box, the decent enough goalkeeper as well. So is it more then where we need a little bit of individual quality rather than them balls into the box and set pieces?
Could be. Then I wouldn't go near Gruev at all. If he was going to start Ampadu and Tanaka, Gruev shouldn't even probably get on the pitch tomorrow. If I'm being honest.
If he's going to go,
I think Rowell would be the one to come on, replace.
DB4 LUFC says, would you go with Rotwell in the 10? I do like the idea of it. Like the idea of it. But again, it comes back down. I just don't think Fark's going to do it. And I think, again, he's an Aronson lover. And I think we all know Fark now long enough, as long as he's been manager at Leeds, that he does have his favourites and he likes to kind of stick with them. So I just don't see it tomorrow, buddy. I really don't. And I think it's a massive game to try it out in, isn't it? To kind of test it. I think maybe, I don't want to say one of the lesser games, but probably the less important games that there might be a chance there to try that. We've kind of been saying that all season though, Dylan, haven't we, since October, November, when we obviously spoke to Danny about it as well, just before the January transfer window, that we needed a 10 in, and there was a lot of that. Well, Rotwell and Tanaka can do it, but we've yet to see it, so I don't think we're going to see it this late on as well. Everybody forgetting Wilder changed formation last time, tried doing a Southampton. He did, Danny, and that was strange from him, wasn't it? It was strange that he did change it up against us. Archer says Glasgow Rangers sacked their manager. Yeah, it was only going to be a matter of time, wasn't it? Wayne says yes. Where am I going here? Ampadu has been poor for the last 3 games. I don't disagree at all. I just think his better position was in midfield, and I think Matt, probably to back it up, is he's obviously been playing out position. We know we can play centre half, but we looked a lot better when he went into midfield, Dylan, didn't we, against Sunderland? He kind of seemed to change the flow of the game. Obviously, Rotwell was the game changer and Strike getting 2 goals, but I thought we looked a lot. No, I think we looked a lot more solid when Ampadu went into the middle of the park. We looked a lot better going forward. Yeah, Pascal has to come back tomorrow. 100%. I agree with you, Mark. I think he does. It just his defending and, you know, his general all round play against Sunderland. He was very, very good. And then you throw 2 goals in there as well. He has to for me.
Sexy player.
Fark hasn't enough to drop Ampadu, and people say he ain't a charity case with Fark. It seems with Ampadu it is a charity case. I just think he's better in midfield, Sean. That's where I think Fark sees him. But yeah, maybe a conversation there to have about centre back as well, but Strike was injured, so who else are you going to get to cover there? Dillo, if you were a manager, you would be in the stands with Fark. You would have well too many yellow cards. Hot-head. We'll
revert back here for a minute. Yeah, Darren's right. I did get many yellow cards. Many. I am hard, right? I used to just lose my shit completely. I'm just being honest with you. I used to just snap and be now going back. I'm still like that today, lads, believe it or not. So, you know.
Sheffield will give us chances. They gave Pompey and Luton chances. They did. They definitely are acceptable to giving away chances, so let's hope they give us a few tomorrow. Lads, isn't it brilliant to be able to have a different of opinions on who starts in midfield? That's the difference between this season and last season. Pascal definitely back tomorrow, and that's it. Nail on the head from Stephen Bourne. I always talk so much then, Stephen, and again, thanks for being a member and supporting the channel, Stephen. That's it, Dylan. That's the nail on the head, isn't it? Because we didn't really have that last season, didn't we? Not that kind of option coming off the bench. It was very much, we had our Kamara, we had our Ampadeus, and there was no real kind of, deviating from that very limited Glenn Kamara. Let's kind of be honest with ourselves. And we all probably had the blinkers on a little bit too much with Kamara, but then you see these 4 boys in there. And like what Stephen says, Dylan, isn't it so good that we do have this many options, that this variations when a game isn't working, that we can change it?
You can to a certain degree, but it's kind of a mind-boggling one, Darren, to be honest with you. I don't know, like, I've honest... Yeah, sorry, whatever. I was looking at the comments in media, and then I don't know what was going to be the answer, but then the comments just kind of threw me off, to be honest with you. As I'm dyslexic...
We have the grammar police in the building. They're calling it with spelling. Easy's in the building. How's it going, Easy? Hope you're keeping well, brother. Hi, lads. We can all be confident about tomorrow. Sheffield will be driven by pride. They will. Their fans will demand they go forward. I will play AO in the 10, Rotwell in the middle, and Strike has to start. So Ampadu, drop them for you, Easy. Ampadu, come out. Good to see you back in the chat, buddy. Another reason I think we will keep Pascal on the bench, because Volber's out. Because needs a centre back to cover on the bench. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Good shout,
point.
Danny.
That's a good
Easy
point.
strike. Yeah. Good point from Danny. It is. Yeah, there's so many variations in this, isn't it? You definitely overthink it. Fark will go in the summer. Do you think so? I don't think. I think if he gets us up, I think they'll give him a crack at the whip. 100%. Scared now for the 10th of May, Dylan. I'm sorry for everything. It's not that bad.
Not that bad. I just
don't think we'll see much difference with Fark in the stands. You'll have a member of staff with a headset on in the bench. Yeah, let's get into it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments as well, because this is probably something that's been kind of, we obviously really enjoyed the Sunderland win, as you can see by myself and Dylan celebrating it. But then I kind of got to then probably Wednesday, and then I started thinking about the touchline ban for Daniel Fark, and is this going to be much of a change on the sideline? Are we going to see a difference on the pitch with him not actually being there on the sideline? Dylan, what's your thoughts on it? Is that big of a difference that he's just in the stands?
I think it's definitely a letdown, considering it's as the biggest game of the season. Fark does a lot of I go back to the Cardiff game, Marv Log, zoomed right in on his head, and he does a lot of roaring and shouting like myself. Well, as the boy of no throat. But he's, if there's a certain foul that's not given, he's the first man to go to the fourth official, and not saying that any of the assistant managers won't do that. But it does seem a lot better to come from the manager as the opposing assistant manager, because I think the fourth officials in general would be kind of like, you haven't really got a clue what you're talking about. But will it make an impact on the players? No, it shouldn't. These are professionals at the end of the day. And they know what they need to do. And Fark knows it.
And I think, Dylan, what you touched on there with them saying about them being professionals as well. We obviously heard Stuart Dallas go into a lot in depth about Bielsa as well. And basically, it didn't really matter if Bielsa was on the touchline or not, because they were so well driven. They knew exactly the positions where they should be. And you'd like to think that Fark has them some way like that as well, that they kind of know their jobs and know their roles in his team. They've played under him for a while. So they should really know, what positions we pick up and how they want to play. But like that, you obviously alluded to it, there is going to be obviously a headset there as well. As soon as he shouts down, the message should be straight out. But yeah, it obviously remains to be seen tomorrow whether he is going to be a difference. Fark might have a better tactical view of Poi, good show. With the modern day tech, he can communicate easy. It's a very, very good shout, Marcus. Very, very good shout. He definitely could. I think the players will do it for the injustice of the touchline ban. Anyone else just thought it was just so harsh. Like, it's just...
It's not, hasn't been as much as I've seen on Leeds United content creators, they've chatted about it. But it's pure silly, lads. He's a human being at the end of the day, and you're going to get emotions.
It's at the end of the day, scored. Though, isn't it? Like, could you imagine for our celebrations, we would have been banned for life? Like, but it's like the fun police are out there that you can't celebrate goals anymore, and like it's like the whole emotion and the elation of football is just being taken out of it now, and it's just like, why looking for that?
I had no emotion. I had no emotion when I went in there and goes on really dead door. I was trying to concentrate on reading, looking at the camera live to whatever it was, 40 people at the time, trying to keep an eye on the match, and then trying to swallow the water that's lodged in the back of the throat. So I haven't touched water since, lads. H2O is the killer.
Yeah,
is the killer. Yeah.
Shane says won't make a difference if he's in the stands. Fark in the stands is a good thing. The players can feel a bit free and take responsibility. Yeah, so the overriding was people don't mind Sean talking rubbish again. Lowe's talking rubbish. It's like a 6-man attack going forward when we have the ball. It's absolutely scintillating football to watch. Bamford wearing the wrong shoes and slipping on his hoop. Andy says, great interview with Ian Hart. I've forgotten how young he was when he broke into that squad with Keogh and the boys. Didn't he win the Junior Cup with Leeds? I think he touched on it with us off camera. He was a little bit old. He wasn't actually part of that youth team that won it. That was kind of your Smiths, McPhail, Paul Robinson and that. But he was at Leeds at the time, just about to break into the team. But he wasn't part of that youth team. But yeah, some fascinating stories, lads.
I was just about to say that. I can sit here all night. The stories that I heard, from look, he's a mate of mine now. I'm going to call him Harty, all right? Whether you like it or not.
Pals are like that, is
like that. No, when he wasn't. But even to Stuart Dallas as well, the insight of what he was giving about Bielsa, before other managers that he had, from when Bielsa came in and everything just flipped and changed. Certain things that Bielsa was doing, and he was kind of scratching his head saying, more or less, what's going on here? This is a load of shite, really. And just put it in perspective. He says, it was one word that he said there, and I'm going to show me. He says, he became human again, if that makes sense. He knew. Believe about that, lads, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's some of the stuff is unbelievable. DV4 LUFC says, did Hart play with Nicky Bourne from Westlife? I don't think they actually played together, but again, they were at Leeds at the same time, and obviously that Irish and Dublin connection there as well. They did become good pals. I think they were over at the Cardiff game recently as well. They were at it. The subs will be pre-planned, 70 minutes. Fark can't have the headset according to what I read. Really, Danny? Ooh. Well, that's a big one, and if you can't have a headset, that is absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. But like you said, Danny, it will be pre-planned. It has to be, I'm sure, mobile phones and all nowadays, Danny, he has to be, they can't take his mobile phone up, so I'm sure he's up in the stands, texting or ringing down, trying to get his message across. That Junior Cup team was insane. Had that on video, lads. Yeah, just unbelievable, that team, and the way Hart obviously spoke about the club at that time, and then he obviously went into a bit of detail about Peter Ridsdale as well. Some of the money that he spent as well he said was just insane, like private chartered airlines.
Where did he go?
The best hotels from Switzerland as well. He was away with Republic
of Ireland. Was it Mallorca though? It was Ian Hart.
Robbie Keane and Kells were away on international duty with the Republic of Ireland, and Peter Ridsdale hired a private jet to fly over to, I think it wasn't Mallorca.
Was it Mallorca? It was some of them.
It was Malta.
Malta. Sorry, I knew it was someone else.
Malta. And basically it was 100,000 to get this chartered airline to go get Hart, Robbie Keane and Kelly to bring them back. I think they played Sunderland that weekend.
Went on the rip, more or less.
They were basically gone on the rip. But yeah, just he said the money that was spent at the time, and he said it was no wonder that Leeds United went into meltdown. The money that was spent. Anyone seeing when a high ball comes to Fark, he brings it down under his foot. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Friends! Irish friends. Yeah, love it. I remember Noel Whelan and Cole winning the U Cup as well. He was what a player as well, Noel Whelan was as well. Let's get into a couple of more comments before we wrap it up. Fark can have someone next to him relaying instruction. It has to be, and there has to be some way. It can't be full on. No communication, so I'm sure that there's some way of getting this message across. Leeds versus West Brom with Jollyman half time on Saturday. Bloody time, and now have to have kick-offs again, like horrendous. Get Fark's mate to sit beside him, and he can be on the phone to the bench. 100%. There's ways. There's as what the old saying, Dylan. There's a will. There's a way. Red Bull to take over in the summer. Yeah, look, there's obviously an interesting one. We did speak to Jerry Lynch at the View. He seems to think that it's not going to happen. That the whole thing with Red Bull taking over Rangers, Morata is meant to be there. But it's meant to be a totally different consortium. But Morata is going to be there doing negotiations. That's kind of what he's heard. But yeah, nothing kind of concrete. So yeah, remains to be seen. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Leeds fans will let it happen. I remember being at Ellen Road when we were singing Champions of Europe 1996, I recall. Yeah, unbelievable. Great times. Ridsdale wasted all the money. O'Leary lost the dressing room with the book. He went into that DV4. It was actually a brilliant question, because obviously you're going around the room and Andy Cousins is going around with the mic and you just put up your hand if you have a question, and there's so many questions going through your head. Who am I going to ask? What do I want to ask? What's the best question? One guy did ask did he think that David O'Leary writing that book lost him the dressing room? And he didn't even hesitate. He just said absolutely. So it was obviously a massive talking point in the dressing room at that time. He just said it was completely wrong. That's why he left the dressing room, and ultimately that's what cost him his job. He said he was a good manager. Great way of thinking about it. He built on what obviously Wilkinson passed to George Graham, and then George Graham had the foundation. He said built a very strong defensive team, very solid to break down. And he said then O'Leary came in, he said, and he just had the youngsters and just gave them a little bit of freedom. He said not the best kind of technical kind of manager, but he said he just gave them freedom and willingness to play football, and he said that's why he was so good at what he done. So yeah, some of the stuff was absolutely class what we had to hear. Let's go into a couple of more comments. Bet the got heart on the screensaver now. Yeah. Load of love hearts and all around him. Kiss him before he goes out. No heart. He absolutely loves it. Sean Healy comes in for pelters. If he was a teddy bear, you'd want to cuddle him. He definitely is a teddy bear. I forgot it was a PLC and it's not on Risdale. Yeah, but he spent a lot though. Risdale.
Sorry, I seen a good comment there.
Yeah, which one is it? I got a sign through from O'Leary back in 2001. Absolutely gentleman and his father.
Here we
go here.
Yeah.
Did anyone ask Dallas? Yeah, so this is the next one. So obviously, it was a long kind of way around it, but he did ask. His question was for Stuart Dallas. He said, what happened in the dressing room at half-time versus Crystal Palace? And again, Dallas said, look, I have nothing to do with the club anymore. He said, I'm doing media work. I'm not contracted to Leeds United anymore. But he said, I want this on record, and I want someone to go on Twitter or X. He said, if any is on Twitter, Jerry Lynch did tweet it. He said, absolutely nothing happened in the dressing room against Crystal Palace. He said, to be honest with you, he said, the dressing room was quiet. He said the dressing room was actually quiet, and he actually turned around and used the word. He said something should have fucking happened. He said because he said nothing went on. No, there was no grabbing shorts. There was no fights. There was no nothing. He said just a complete make-up, complete lie. He said absolutely just didn't happen. So basically for us squashed it.
Question I asked was more or less about the Villa goal. What was the?
Yeah. So your question was. Do you think Bielsa was right to give the goal back to Villa?
Give the goal to Villa. And
Dallas seemed to just think that it didn't matter either way. The game was there. It was a nothing game for Villa. It was nothing game for Leeds.
That's the reason why Pontus was sold.
Yeah, he said Pontus. He touched on Pontus a bit. He did say that obviously that game was obviously a big one between Pontus and Bielsa was a reason why he fell out, but he said it was a lot more kind of behind that. Pontus was constantly challenging Bielsa about his decisions and about training times and
he was always making it about
stuff
himself.
That he had to do. He was always kind of making it about himself and stuff like that. And he said, look, Pontus is a great lad, but he said he was just challenging the manager a little bit too much, and that was ultimately the reason why Pontus was moved on from Leeds. And he said a complete surprise to everyone and a surprise to Pontus as well when he was basically told, yeah, your time here at Leeds is done and to be moved on. So yeah, loads of interesting stuff. I think it went on for nearly 4 hours. There was so much to unpack.
The one with the beds, remember? Dallas with the beds.
With the what?
With the beds, his wife was pregnant at the time.
Yeah, another one with Dallas. He went into detail about Bielsa when he first kind of came into the team, and he was away at the Euros with Northern Ireland, so he was meant to have more time kind of off. He didn't. He came back early because he wanted to impress Marcelo. But at the time, they had a toddler, and his wife was heavily pregnant on their second child. And he asked, he went to basically one of Bielsa's, he said it wasn't like his assistant manager, he said it was just basically kind of one of the...
But they had to go for a nap. They had to go for a nap from, was it 12 to 2?
Yeah, well, this is what I was going to get into. So he basically asked Bielsa, could he go back to be with his pregnant wife, heavily pregnant wife? She was only a couple of weeks before she was due. And Bielsa point blank just said no. So they were basically staying in a hotel down the road before he got to sleep pods in the training ground. So he was sent them all down to this hotel. Some of you in Leeds might know Wetherby is a hotel at the bottom of the road or something like that next to the prison. Dallas was saying, but they used to stay there. But basically one of Bielsa's members of staff used to go and sit in reception and count all the Leeds players going in, and would sat there and wait for them, and basically they'd all get a call then. But they'd obviously go for a 2 hour nap. They'd get a call then to come back down to go back to training for the second training session. And he said it was one day Shax and Jordan Stevens tried to go into
Joffy.
Was it Joffy? Joffy
and Stevens.
Joffy and Stevens were trying to go into Wetherby for a coffee, and he just said back up to bed.
So didn't know your man saying that at the reception. As soon as he walked down, he said, "Go back to bed." And then Dallas did ask the question, "What was it about? Why are we doing this?" He said, "It's to give you time. I want you rested as much as possible for the next session. Why can't I get home?" was the next question. In case you're messing around with your child, or you don't rest, or you're doing something, want a picture up, it could be something silly like that, more or less. So that was another reason why I said then he brought the looks was brilliant. That's what I could talk about.
He did, DV4. It was obviously, this was an interesting one. So he was asked the question at the time, what did the Leeds players think when Jesse Marsh was brought in? And he said, as much as it killed all them players, he said things had to change under Marcelo, because he said mentally they were done. They couldn't go anymore. And he said Marcelo told them at the start of that season that the club or the boys, totally new team, totally new players, or they let him go because the third year just doesn't work with his methods and his methodology. That's why he only signs 1 year contracts. He gets the best out of the player for that year, possibly two, and he moves himself on. But basically, yeah, he said the confidence was on the floor, and the only way that the season was going to be saved under Jesse Marsh. He said, look, he was a totally different type of manager to Bielsa. Bielsa was very much keep himself up in his office, wouldn't really kind of mingle with the players, so it was very weird for them to kind of see emotion like Jesse Marsh, giving them high five, pats around the back, sitting down, having lunch with them. He said it was very sort of strange, but he said the players kind of needed it. He said the club was almost like a wounded child at that time, and he said ultimately he has a lot of respect for Jesse because he came in and done the job that he should have done to get Leeds safe. But then he did say the following season it was probably time for the club to actually just move him on, that just brought Jesse in for that period to keep Leeds up, and then he should have looked in the other direction, because he said then the start of the following season, pre-season, everything was just totally changed. He said, you know, their fitness levels stopped. He said they weren't doing as much running. They ripped out the training pods, put in cinemas. There was a lot of films and stuff like that. So yeah, you can see probably much of we all kind of know, but he basically does have respect for Jesse Marsh. He said he came in and done the job that he was meant to do at the end of that season, but ultimately probably should have been moved on. So yeah, it's a good one. Is Gary Kelly still in Yorkshire? Is he back in Ireland? I believe he's living back in Ireland. We do see him a couple of times travelling back through Dublin, but I'm not too sure. I believe he still is living in Dublin. Jack Harrison and Jesse Marsh fell out pre-World Cup. I'd imagine so. I'd imagine it was fairly easy. Arthur says, who cares? I think a few people care, Arthur. Training ground on a couple of miles away from me down disused railway lines. I'd often bump into Bielsa. I'd say that was class. Andy, I would guess, was always really homesick at Leeds. It was a huge factor as why he never left Leeds. Yeah, he did speak. Harty spoke about that as well, Dylan, didn't he? That he was very kind of homesick as well. Uncle Gary. And they said he lives in Drogheda. Yeah, I do think he's back in Drogheda. I'm not too sure if he kind of hops between two of them. I'm not too sure. Lads, I think that's it. Dillo, you want else to add?
I could sit here and talk all night, lads, to be honest with you. About that,
especially about that Q&A. It was, class, unbelievable.
It was quality. No, but that's it, lads. Back onto Sheffield United real quick. Prediction wise, I'm going to go with 3-1 to Leeds.
Oh, everyone in the comments, get your score predictions in. Let us know. Dylan, I'm going to go the Leedsy score. I'm going to go 2-0 again. Bet them 2-0 at Ellen Road. I'm thinking 2-0. Down there at their place. Goal scores and one Pirro to get another one. Pascal again. That'd be class, wouldn't it? 3 goals in 2 games, so Pascal would be unbelievable.
I'm going to say wing, hello, Pirro.
What's he doing? He's gone rogue.
I'm going to say Bogle. I think Bogle will probably get another one.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be nice with
James.
Bogle. I forgot about Bogle.
James.
Last one here from Gavin Party says, is Dallas going into coaching at Leeds? He did say, he didn't touch on it too much, but he did say that there is a role. He has his badges and there is a role at the club for him if he wants it. But he's just happy kind of living his life away from the pitch and away from football at the minute.
It was actually all to do with the kids, wasn't it? On a Saturday morning.
Yeah. It was a lot to do with the family. Yeah. Bringing the kids to football and swimming and tennis and stuff like that. So he said he's kind of happy at the moment, kind of living the kind of family life. But he said it is probably something that he might get into down the line, because he did touch on he was doing bits with Northern Ireland 19s as well. And he said he's loving doing it, and he kind of sees the game in a different way because of Bielsa. He talked stuff about doing stuff on Sky as well, the analysis that when they're trying to pinpoint something in Sky, that's a basic move where if a centre half pulls out and, you know, doesn't track his runner, he kind of sees why the centre half made the run rather than like it was his mistake. So he said he sees the game a lot differently now because of Bielsa. So I do think he'd definitely be a good manager or coach if that's what he decides to go into. Let's get into a couple of the scoreline. Darren Daly's going 2-0 Leeds. Take that.
Okay.
James and Pirro to score. Not bad. I'd love Bogle to get on. Forgot about them. Everyone keep your shit together tomorrow night. No need for internet meltdown.
I agree.
Yeah, agree. 100%.
I agree,
We'll be the first ones to do a meltdown if we lose, so don't worry about
4-0.
that. Colin says 4-0 Leeds. Nice.
Rub it
That
all
would
over
be
me.
nice.
4-0.
Might do 2-1 again like Sunderland game, and 2-2. Marcus is going 3-1 Leeds.
Same as
2-1
me,
Leeds
Marcus.
from Stephen. Brilliant show, lads. Can everyone please hit the like and subscribe? Show
Yeah.
the lads some love. Absolutely love that. Please do that, lads. We're well on the road now.
53 people in, lads. Come on. Give us an old sub there and an old like.
Give us an hour like. It
comment.
really helps along. Aronson and James. Yeah, lads, look at that's it from OnlyLeedsBros. We are going to be back tomorrow night for our watch along as well. We're going to be live at 8:15, so we'll bring you all the team news. We'll chat through that interesting ones. I'm looking forward to seeing the team tomorrow. We'll obviously do our general match watch along. We do have our fan halftime phone in as well, where we pop the link in the chat. You can pop
Best time.
in. Brilliant show. Love the
Best time
halftime
ever.
show. So you can pop in and have a chat then at halftime, and then we're live then for our instant match reaction then after that as well, about 10:20 as well. That does always be a good one as well. So we got a few people on for that one. Last few of the comments before we wrap it up. Dylan, no drinking water, stick to beer. It's much more healthier.
No,
Cheers,
no.
Marcus. Thanks for popping in, buddy. See you then. See you soon, Darren. Hope you're keeping well. Thanks. Where am I going? Sorry, back here. Got a feeling Rotwell's going to score 2 tomorrow if he plays. It'd be an interesting one if Rotwell does play.
That'd be nice.
We'll be there as per usual. I know you will, buddy. You're always there. Great stream, lads. Looking forward to the watch along tomorrow. Look, lads, that's it from OnlyLeedsBros. We'll love yous and leave yous. Tomorrow is Monday, but at least Leeds United are playing. We'll chat yous all again soon. Mind yourselves and mind each other. And we'll see yous then.
Leech.
God. See yous later.